This is insane. I'm so glad to be able to learn this because there's so much that I think that I know that I don't. And it's amazing that there's women who don't even know this. So I want to talk about Pillow Talk. So you have been on Pillow Talk with your best friend. You've been on Pillow Talk with Kelly, who we all love, by the way. And we will be happy to see you guys anywhere we can on any other shows. So if there's any other shows you guys are going to be popping up on, we are very happy to see you and Kelly together. We approve. But what is the craziest moment on Pillow Talk that had you jaw dropping? Because we all love your comebacks and how you react to things. So what's one of the things that you saw on Pillow Talk and you were just like, is this really happening? This is insanity.
I think as of recently, it would probably be Debbie and Tony. Um, they were very uh, demonstrative and raw with their, getting it in, but it also made me feel happy. I know that was probably hard for her, but it also was liberating, right? Because here she's been without her husband, no man, not getting any, doing the thing. And we saw her go through several guys. And I was like,
Yeah.
yes. And all that was going on in my head was like the old school 70s B grade porn music. Like, yeah. But I also think it made Kelly extremely uncomfortable because we met
Mm-hmm.
Debbie in LA and he absolutely adores her. And he was like, oh gosh, and so for me, immediately it just stemmed from my business brain. Okay, girl, you're gonna need some sexy stuff in the bedroom. Let me fit you. And so I sent her a message and she was grateful. That was pretty jaw dropping because they,
Yes.
they they went there. It went a little more risque. Um,
Yeah, I think they said on the tell-all that was one of the most risque scenes on the Single Life so far, and that says a lot. But I was just talking to Sarah Fraser on her show, and I'm super excited too for Debbie. She made a huge change, and a lot of people, especially women, think after a certain age they can't live for themselves and do things for themselves. And Debbie is showing us that it is very important to always love yourself and do what's best for yourself. I'm hoping that her and Colt can work it out. But at this point, I'm just happy that Debbie is happy.
Absolutely. I think the other most shocking thing back in the day was with Tanya and Sinjin when she told him he wasn't
Yes.
right. And I think from that moment on, that had a huge impact on the dynamic of their relationship.
It most definitely
It,
did. Ascension was extremely hurt. You could see it in his
because we
face.
were feeling that, and even now down to the today of it, I think they had a thing. I think they just didn't know how to work it out, and that happens with all of us, right? You can
Yep.
still care for somebody and do it, but if you're not on the same playing field, and this is cliche too, but if you're not equally yoked, it's very difficult when you don't really have the same ideals in mind. You thought you did, but then when it gets down to the okay, it's time to do the thing. Let's play the house. Let's do the thing. There were some uncomfortable conversations that may have
Yeah.
got missed, or the outcome wasn't what you thought it was going to be, and now you've already taken this trek. So
Yes.
it's been such a great journey. I love it. I love travel. I would never not go to all of these countries. I still want to go back to the DR. It was the most beautiful water I've ever seen in my life. And I love the country. I love the culture, and I didn't go there looking for a man, honey. It just happened, but
All right, so I want to switch gears and talk about Christmas time. So, is Christmas your thing? Because Halloween is my thing. So, first of all, is Christmas your holiday, or do you have a favorite holiday other than Christmas?
I honestly just really enjoy holidays, period. Growing up as a child, we made a big deal. We didn't have a lot. I grew up super poor in the country and we didn't have a lot. But when holidays came around, we always came together as a family. We played games, we ate food, we celebrated whatever it was a holiday or not. We celebrated just being together as a family. And my grandmother was the glue for all of that. She always managed to get all seven of her children and 50 of her grandkids together in one small space and feed us all. So for me, I love to cook and I love to entertain. So being a host for me and feeding people and having them have a place to come to if they didn't have anywhere else to go is big for me. And it's changed a little bit in the latter years because my kids are older and I'm trying to make them understand that's not all about you. and I don't need you to be ugly because we're about to go deliver Christmas to like 20 families whose kids get nothing. And that's part of the charity. Because these women, they send in, or the grandmother sends in and is like, I would really love to get my grandkid a Christmas gift, but there's no
Okay.
resources. So for me, last year, and I don't say this to toot my horn because it really is for me. It really does something for me to be able to give back and to go. And when you witness that, even down to when I went to the DR, when you witness the things that we take for granted, like ordering a pizza every night of the week if I want to, or
Right.
having the things, all the things, you know,
Yeah.
it humbles you and it makes you want to be a better person. And so I understand the spirit of giving. I've always had that in my heart. And my dad told me one time, you should open a humane society because you take in all the strays. Sorry.
That's oh, I
But
love to hear that.
that's the most awesome thing he could have ever told me, because I'm like, that's what this season is about. That's what, if you are a Christian and you believe in Christ, then you're to give the gifts, you're to give, and you're to tell
Yes.
people that they can have salvation. But it's about coming together for something amazing and really celebrating. And when you have the opportunity to give to somebody, I challenge everybody to find somebody to give to or go serve. If you've never served or went somewhere for Thanksgiving that you had to serve homeless people, you have no idea how humbling it is and how it'll make you go back and be like, man, I'm an asshole, or I shouldn't be like this. This could happen to me. You know what I mean? It changes you inside. And so I love Christmas. I love waking up, doing breakfast, making the big meals, and seeing the surprise on my kids' face when I gift them something and they love it. So, and I love domestic gifts. I think that people think I'm crazy, but if there's like a new kitchen gadget or something, I always am like, I want something for the kitchen. And I'm like, are you sure you don't want a bag? I'm like, no, cook and chill.
Yeah, I'm a huge Christmas person too, but like I said, I'm a Halloween person. But I want to say I grew up also in the South, and we were very very poor. And actually, in my religion, we couldn't celebrate Christmas. So when I became an adult, I was able to celebrate Christmas. And having kids, I really have learned a really big acceptance for, like you said, giving and doing things for other people. And I think that as a child, since we didn't celebrate it, we also didn't give. Our church didn't do much for people who did celebrate it because they didn't feel like they wanted to participate. But I feel like you said, it's more so about doing for other people and making other people feel adequate and making the children's faces happy that one time a year. Because I remember every Christmas, after Christmas, I would go places and all the kids would tell me what they got, and I never had anything to say. So I definitely feel 100% where you're coming from. And it's just making everyone feel loved and seen. It's so important. And I feel like Christmas is the perfect holiday to do that. And I love that you're getting involved that way.
Well, it's like if you believe in Santa, you don't want to have some kid not get something and take that magic away from them, because
Yes.
we are on a program to believe that this is what happens. And my 12-year-old, even though she's 12, she still has a very childlike mindset because of her fragmented chromosome. And she believes in her heart of hearts. She believes that Santa's going to come. And that magic makes me realize what my parents thought when they saw it with me, because I'm
Yes.
like, please let her always believe like this, because that childlike mentality, even as adult, when you go back to it, it just keeps us young and it keeps us youthful, and we play games and we do fun stuff, and I love it.
So one more question before we go. So of all the 90 Day shows and spinoffs, do you have a favorite? Like for me, I'm obsessed with The Other Way. I love to see how people try to, kind of like what we were talking about, live in a different country in different conditions and try to test themselves and what they can and can't do and test their limits. So of all the shows, is there one of them that you're just like, oh, and also the OG 90 Day, obviously, but is there one of them that you just think brings all the drama and it's just crazy?
Honestly, I might have to agree with you, and the reason for that is when I was on the show, I think right after my season, it took a little bit more of a turn, even though it was already kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Um, because they did start adding in all these other spinoffs and the other way. And for me, I'm trying to learn about other cultures and other
Hmm.
people. I try to see, okay, if I go there and visit, what do I need to do, or what can I do, or and I like it. I think when you're taken out of your comfort zone of what we have here versus in other countries,
Yes.
you truly are tested as to whether or not you can do the thing with your person. And I also think that you see where they're coming from when they want to come here, because they're bred that this is the place to be, right? They really are. A lot of people really look up to us. And quite frankly, I don't know why. I mean, I feel like we're the most messed up country in the world sometimes when it comes to cultural adaptation and loving your neighbor and learning
Yeah,
things about other people, even though we're a melting pot. Like, we got to get it together,
we
you know,
do.
and really appreciate. And I will say, when I went to Dubai, I was blown away. The country was clean, the food was amazing, and the Muslim people, when the bell went off to go to prayer and to do the thing, I it's respected. I respect that, because we can't even get people to go to church just to go to church and have a positive influence on a regular. So I really respect people who are that orthodox to their religion. And I wanted to
Mhm.
ask, I wanted to feel, I wanted to see what I felt. And I loved that so much. So back to your question, I love not day the other way too, but I will say I did the Caribbean way, you
Oh
know,
yeah,
I've pillow talked that, and I
that is
like
a good spinoff. That is
I
a good spinoff. All right, thank you so much. I am so honored. I've been working so hard to try to get Miss Molly Hopkins on my show, and we have finally
Woo!
made it happen. I feel like I could talk to you all day. Like I feel like I've
Well,
known you my whole life.
up with some other things, and I'm grateful for you too. Thank you so much for keeping it real and trying to bring, a positive aspect as a blogger into this. And I know sometimes it gets messy and the podcasts get messy, but thank you for focusing on the really good aspects of, who we are and what we were before we were that.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm glad to hear that, and that's what I want to do. I want to put the love and respect back into blogging. I feel like it's been taken out and it's been missing, and that's my goal. I want to just get to know you guys, your people first. You were on our TV, and we've grown to love you, and millions of people know your name, but we just want to know you as a person, and I feel like that's my goal. It's just to make sure that you're able to have a place to just be yourself and let people learn about you instead of speculating about you. I feel like it's
Right.
so important that you get to tell your story, not anybody else.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Happy holidays to you. And we will probably chat again at some other point.
I hope so. All right, guys. I'm George Mossey. Thanks again to Molly Hopkins for being on my podcast, and everybody having a wonderful holiday season. We'll talk to all of you really soon.
Bye bye.